and welcome back to our 99th episode of the Three Alarm Comics Shared Universe podcast. With me tonight, I have some very good friends of mine who I love dearly, who have treated me well, will treat you well. Mr. Mike Zapcic and Mr. Ming Chen.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
What's up, everybody? Yes.
You're drinking booze. Me, I'm drinking a nice seltzer out of this. Should I tell the story of the goblet, Ming?
You know,
Absolutely.
It's got meaning behind it, especially this week.
This week, actually last week, Ming and I lost a very dear friend, David Phillips of Podcast Detroit. Ming and I had met David and Bob Waltenspiel, who are the co-founders and co-owners of Podcast Detroit. And they had a very simple idea, which was to take their little clubhouse that they were podcasting out of and turn it into a clubhouse for other people to podcast out of. And Ming and I both loved that idea. We're like, holy crap, what a fantastic idea.
Yeah, we loved it so much we ripped it off. So
he told them that we were going to steal it, though. We absolutely said, I said to Bob and David, I'm like, I love your idea. Do you mind if we steal it? And they're like, no, the more the merrier. And we met them at a con. Holy crap. That was what was the name of that con, Ming?
Oh, Fantastic Con. And it was in Michigan, my home state. And it was held in this big, giant indoor flea market that was legendary when I was growing up. This place called the Gibraltar Trade Center.
The Gibraltar Trade Center.
Huge indoor warehouse. You know, imagine a flea market, but inside of a warehouse, basically.
That's what it was.
You know, it was we have one called Collingwood here, but imagine that, but warehouse sized.
Yeah, indoors. Imagine like they just built up. It looked like you could put the Hindenburg in there.
Yeah,
wow.
It was
on fire.
So the space was divided. It was half of it was a flea market. We had a quarter of it for the Comic-Con, and the other quarter was a gun show that weekend. So,
what else goes better together?
Yeah, exactly. So I remember me and Mike wandered over to the gun show because we wanted to go see the gun show, and they were like, "Whoa, where are your tickets?" I'm like, "Well, we're with the Comic-Con." They're like, "All right, all right, come on in." So we were, we could have bought a whole arsenal that day.
So you didn't get tickets to the gun show?
No, not that gun show. I think Mike bought like a flak jacket or I don't. He looked like he was going to go join a SWAT team somewhere, and we still have it. It's in storage.
Yes, I bought a flak jacket there. Holy crap, that's right. And a nice spring-loaded baton.
Oh yeah, nice. But while we were there, at the one of the con tables was a podcast. It was a podcast booth. We're like, what the hell is this? Where are you guys? Like we're Podcast Detroit. We have a studio. We have a one-room studio. We rent podcast space to people, and then we go to cons, and that's how we promote the studio. We set up like a podcast, and we're like, holy shit! There are guys doing stuff that we do. Like we were doing it here in Jersey, but we didn't have any other friends who podcasted, except for our other idiot friends, Brian, Mike, Brian Walton, and Q. But that they didn't count. So we were blown away that that not only had they that they're fellow podcasters, but they were encouraging other podcasters. So, but I mean, we all grew up in the same era. We loved we started quoting the same '80s movies. The Great Lakes Ghostbusters were there, so we were hanging out with them.
Yeah, we inducted into the Ghostbusters. We're now unofficial Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so I mean, we bonded very quickly, and this town, Mount Clemens, Michigan, not a lot going on there, to say the least. It was a suburb of Detroit, but it was like 40 miles out, and so that night we're like, well, what do we do now? And we managed to find this dive bar called Dickweeds, and that sounds funny, right? But the guy who ran it, his name was actually Richard Weed, and he called it Dickweeds. And lo and behold, Scott, it happened to be their weekly karaoke night.
Oh, Jesus.
And so we rolled in. Theo was there. We rolled in with Theo Crane, our friend Theo Crane.
Oh, my God.
And the Great Lakes Ghostbusters and all the other people from the con who wanted to party. And we took this place over. So, I think Theo did a song from Rocky Horror, and he absolutely brought the house down.
Did he do his infamous chocolate salty balls?
I believe he did that too. And we got the Ghostbusters. We did the Ghostbusters theme song along with the dance from the video. It was a great night. So we bonded immediately, and we've just become really good friends throughout the last 5 years. Their studios expanded as they grew. We started ours, but every time I would go home or Mike would be with me, the first thing I would do was like, "Hey man, can I come and podcast? Can we come?" Basically, can I come hang out? And
Right.
and this shouldn't sound too unfamiliar to anybody. That when they expanded their studio, we got there and they expanded from 1 room to 4. We were like, holy crap, this is awesome! Like,
Wow.
and they had this little kitchenette, and they turned it into a makeshift bar. There were bottles of booze everywhere, which should sound familiar. But the thing that really fascinated me was they had a kegerator, and I was like, holy crap, you guys have beer on tap here? And I was like, man, one day, man, we're gonna build a place like this. We're gonna have beer on tap. And now we have 2 of them. But
Well, hold on. I gotta not to get away from your story, but
sure.
just kind of move this over here for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 on tap on that refrigerator.
Yeah, you bested us. You turned a whole fridge into a 3-tap.
Well, we have another one too with 3 other taps.
Yeah. So we it was a friendly competition, but not really. I mean,
It was never a competition, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of ball busting.
It was more of a conglomeration.
Yeah, for sure. But
so anyway, we were in Hamtramck.
Good old blue collar Polish town in Detroit.
Love it.
And we were at a Polish restaurant.
Loved it. So we go there, and Bob and David are drinking beers out of these glasses, these goblets. And I said, I don't drink. So I went up to the bar Fraulein and I said, excuse me, bar Fraulein, can I get my my tonic water in one of these lovely goblets? And she was more than happy to pour me one. And so we were just sitting there drinking our drinks, waiting for our table. And I took it over to the table, and we're sitting there eating. And I mean, the table is too small for the Polish feast that came out. And I kept having to move my goblet, but not so much, because I'm like, my goblet stays where it stays, damn it. And I told David that I'm going to steal this goblet. I'm going to steal it. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to see you try. And so we're leaving, and I'm like, nah, you know what? Taking that back is going to be a bitch. Getting it, back home unbroken through the airlines is going to be impossible. So I'll leave it. I'll grab another one. And so I get out to the car, and David was like 30 seconds behind us. And he pulls out 2 of these. And he said, this is for you and for Ming. And that's the kind of guy that David was. He gave us these, and then
he stole those for you.
No, he actually bought them.
Oh, okay.
And then 2 weeks later at a shared universe, a box comes. Ming calls me up. He's like, hey, we got a box here from Bob and David. So I told him to open it, and inside were 2 more.
Yeah, so we got a whole set here. We got a whole set.
So so we were going to have etched in here on one side a shared universe podcast studio, and on the other side was going to be Podcast Detroit, their logo, and then put Bob, David, Michael, and Ming. And I just never got around to doing it. And so now for my task for the month is to have that done.
Finding an engraver.
I mean, honestly, I'm sure you have somewhere up there, but if you don't, one of the guys I work with, they do the laser engraving on there. I can take care of that for you in a heartbeat.
You're a good man, Scott. Thank you.
You're
down at the base, Scott.
One of the things we were talking about before we got away from all this, and actually one thing I'm excited. Me and Ming actually kind of went over this the other night. We're talking. We're still kind of. We have to be very careful how we say this, but everybody ought to stay tuned very, very much what's going on, because Mike and I are going to have a very big announcement to make very soon. Once we're allowed to let the cat out of the bag, y'all get ready. We're going to have some fun things that are about ready to happen.
Well, we can say it's a collaboration between Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash and
Yes. We'll be doing something together that you will be able to obtain at both stores, and it's going to be a very limited edition. Like I said, there's not going to be a high word print run.
You're not tap dancing around this as much as I felt.
I'm like I said, I'm very, very trying to figure out how the hell I can say this.
You're worse
without saying it.
You're worse at keeping secrets than Mike is. Mike is like this. You can't tell anybody this, but he's already told 50 people. So
no, Ming, I tell you, and you tell 50 people. So that's
I do not. I know how to keep a secret.
It's like that commercial. And they tell two friends, and they tell friends, and so on and so on.
That tells everybody. So that's
who talked. Who talked.
Yes. But yeah, we do have a very nice, very, very neat thing that's going to go on. And once we're allowed to say something, I am super excited about it. It's something that I'm very, very passionate about. I'm very happy about. I'm very glad to be doing it with a good friend like Mike in the stash. So just stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned.
When might that be? When can you reveal fully?
We don't have a date yet. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. It has to be officially announced before we can announce it.
Okay, fair enough. So you'll know when you know.
We will know when we know, and when we do know, we will let you know.
Okay, fair enough.
But one of the other things we have cool, we have a USQ alumni that will be down here at the shop in about 2 weeks. Mr. Brian O'Halloran is going to be coming down here to visit. But as much as I love Brian and having him come down, we actually going to have some other special guests to us who are actually up in New Jersey when we came to visit you. Amy and Darren Tucci are going to be coming down and going to be spending a weekend with us, so we can show them what the Southern hospitality is going to be like.
Get ready, kids. It's a wild ride.
And for anybody who doesn't know, Amy and Darren are one of the sponsors of A Shared Universe. They have pressing. Oh, here we go. Let's do this right quick. They have Pressing Matters. Like I said, I actually, while I was up in New Jersey, I ended up picking up a book that I'd always wanted from Mike up at the stash. It was the first appearance of Black Mana, and while I was up there, I didn't have it in my possession very long. I immediately turned it over to Darren, who took it back. And from the pictures I have seen, I'm not kidding you, Mike, it easily pulled it up a grade and a half.
Oh, I know. They shared them with me too.
So. I was dumbfounded on how there was stuff that he in the pictures. I didn't even realize these small little flaws. I would have never even. Well, like I said, for me, it was for me.
Oh my God.
But it was something that I would have never even noticed, but until the pictures were blown up and everything else. But then I see the after pictures, and it's completely, whatever this small little flaw that I never would have ever noticed anyway is now completely gone.
Yeah, Darren gets down to this crazy like molecular level, man, and the before and after photos are incredible. Like that, you should send your books in just for the before and after photos alone.
Dude, did you see the before and after pictures of the Aquaman?
They sent me the ones of my books as well.
I am completely, absolutely dumbfounded. And by the way, Darren, Amy, if you're listening, when you are down here, bring something to bring books back with you, because I have a lot of our clientele who are going to be turning stuff over to you by nothing more than me showing them the pictures that was sent to me. So you are going to have quite a bit of business coming from down here as well as from up there.
Yeah, I don't even know what the process is, but imagine you met a friend and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a wizard, like I'm actual, and I use magic to take out creases and imperfections in comics." That's what Darren is, because I don't know how he does it. I don't care how he does it. It's pretty incredible.
I was telling Mike a little bit earlier before we got started. this is our 99th episode. So our next one will be our 100th episode.
Wow.
So I've got to figure out something good to do. And I'm thinking I do want to bring Darren and Amy on. We may wait and do it until everybody's down here. So maybe I can have them here in studio and try to bring as many people in as possible because, I've got to say one thing, thanks to you two. You got me started in the whole podcasting, live streaming thing. It was something that when Ming came down, he taught the class. It was something I enjoyed. I liked it. Back then, it was just the whole podcast stuff. But then the whole StreamYard Zoom thing came along with, the pandemic. And I have gotten to where somebody who says they have a face for radio to enjoying doing this more than I can possibly even say. So I've got to give thanks to the two of you for one, starting off a shared universe. Like I said, you got the idea from other stuff, and I mean that's fine and dandy. But starting off a shared universe, but also sharing the love of podcasting and live streaming to everybody else. Because without that, I would be I would be here having a comic shop, being perfectly happy. But I would have never gotten to know either one of you nearly as well as I do now.
Yeah, and it got us through the last year, man. So for sure, we saw you like every week. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was one of those things where it helped everybody get through. It helped everybody make time pass, and quite honestly, it helped keep me sane. So I'm like I said, once again, thank you to both of you because without a shared universe, the whole thing could have taken a totally different turn, and I would never be doing what we're doing right now.
We're putting that on the movie poster.
There's going to be a movie?
We're going to use that as our client testimonial.
Stranger things have happened, my friend.
Well, I mean, I've said for the longest time, I feel like, which we see the stuff in the background, and with Ming's permission, I'll bring it a little bit more to the forward here. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I do consider ourselves to be a unaffiliated part of a shared universe. So, we even had shirts made.
It helps to have a screen printer like literally in the right next door.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all.
And a liquor store next door too. So,
actually, they're gone. They moved out.
Did they leave any of their stock behind?
Not intentionally.
Good man.
No. They actually, the guy who had it there, he ended up deciding that wasn't what he wanted. Actually, we had a tornado hit our entire building, and took out a lot of things. And after that, he kind of decided this wasn't what he wanted to do. And, he wanted to do other things. More power to him. He was a great guy. And, he's had a lot of success with what he's done afterwards. So I can't fault him at all. He did his best.
Good. And he's got that OnlyFans page. Good for him.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you have to do. And, when you're making that kind of money for feed pictures.
Mike, sex work is work. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no judgments here.
Well, I think you've got enough liquor to start your own store in there. By the way, I've seen the alcohol scattered about, including the 50 beers that you're sending up here. So,
I'm sending the rest of the 50, but believe it or not, that's the funny thing is I'm not a big liquor drinker. We do have a decent sized liquor cabinet here, but I like my beer. I'm happy sipping on a beer every once in a while, but I don't mind my nice little sip of Clase Azul Reposado every now and then, which I saw you had pictures of one in the car seat beside you. But other than that, I'm just not a big drinker. Period. Contrary to popular belief, I like enjoying. I do it socially. I like having a few drinks with a few friends, but I'm way too old to have to deal with the whole waking up with a hangover and headaches and everything else and figuring out a way to drive home. And it's just I'm over all that.
If you look at the liquor table over at a shared universe, you'd think that Ming and I were both liquored up 24/7.
For the customers. It's for the customers.
Well, that's kind of what we do. I said with the beer on tap, like granted, there's been a few beers in here I've liked exceptionally well, but I also like sharing it. To me, I've never been one of those people that, and not saying anything's wrong with it, but I've never been one of those people that can drink alone. I've never been one of those ones who could just sit around by myself and take a few shots or drink a few beers. I don't have it in me to do it that way. To me, it's always been a social share with your friends thing.
You don't know what you're missing, Scott.
I think I do, and I'm okay with it.
Fine, suit yourself.
All right, we all have our vices, or we combine the vices. A good drink and a cigar, nothing wrong with that. Or just
No,
like
I quit smoking. I still do the vape thing every now and then, but I quit smoking about 11 years ago, except for a good cigar. I cannot turn down a good cigar. I mean, quite honestly, there's been times I couldn't turn out a bad cigar. There's just something about being in an environment and puffing on a stogie, and nothing beats it.
I agree. Are there lounges down in Biloxi?
Actually, we do have a few. So when you come down and you decide to stay an extra day or two, like I said, I know we've already planned on going to New Orleans and visiting over there. But there's a few cigar bars and cigar lounges here that we can go and chill out. They've got their couches, their chairs. They have music playing. Sometimes they have live music. There's beers you can buy. The liquor law is a little bit different here, so they can't sell liquor there, but you can bring your own bottle in if you would like.
Or even better, you bring your own good stuff in, man.
That is such a recipe for disaster. That's like when Yosemite Sam was jumping on the deck trying to get that last bit of TNT, and you see it.
Yeah.
That's him.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out, and I think I'm going to try to talk to John, but I'm going to try to get John Kokoza to come on next time too, because my big thing is I've got to try to figure out a way to con him into mailing me some of the beers down from Ross Brewing. I'm still, like I said, from coming up there and tasting and sampling and having a few of those, I've got to figure out a way to get some down here, whether it be legally, illegally. I don't even care at this point.
Did you not watch Smokey and the Bandit? Do you not have a friend with an?
I don't have a Trans Am. We're
that was just Coors Light, man. So well, let me see what I can do. First of all, I owe you one, Scott, or 28, or however many you sent.
Okay. I've got a few more for you. So
and, I do have a box of I do have some leftovers from the film festival last week. So let me see what I can do, Scott.
All right, I'm game. I am game.
I can do. I literally have a. I don't. But there's a whole box back there. There's.
Now, all you need is one dude from FedEx or one dude from the post office to be watching this, Ming, and just be like, you know what, Ming Chen.
Yep, we are checking that stuff out.
You're screwed.
Yes, we have a delicious Manasquan wit here.
Yeah, these are the ones I haven't tried before.
Yeah, I have the whole run. Let me see what I can do, Scott.
Oh my God, you're so screwed, Ming.
Yeah. One of the other things I wanted to get out to everybody too, for anybody watching, and hopefully anybody else who I saw actually earlier. Craven's Comics was on, and then of course Amy and Darren, they're going to be having their own shop soon. I've got to also give thanks to Mike in particular. Through the past few months, over this past year, we've actually kind of gone through and not just working out, the announcement we're going to make, but actually even before that, helping each other out. It was Mike's idea. I kind of took it and ran with it. We actually ended up starting a social media page and things like that, to where retailers can get together and help each other out, because what we as we've been talking, we figured out, without each other, we're all in the same boat, but without each other, we're all going to sink. And we have, kind of started the formations of a network. I guess I need to spend a little more time on the social media part of it, trying to make it grow. But if you wherever you're at, deal with your local comic shops, your local vendors, everything like that. But also, if you are a vendor and you're watching this, you're taking, you're hearing this for the first time, please get a hold of Mike or I. we will direct you to these. It's a private social media page, so you have to be invited to it. But it's something that we're using to try to get books in the hands of people that need them and want them, but also helping the shop, each other's shop survive.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. That's essentially what we're trying to do. Is take a shared universe model and put it towards the comic shops out there.
Well, for too long, I mean, I'm sure you know this too. For too long, everybody looks at each other as, they could be 3 states apart. And, they consider each other competition. And I found more the networking and the friendships that I've formed throughout this between you and everybody else and Craven and a bunch of other ones in there. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Damn straight. Truer words were never spoken, Scott.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. I got off my soapbox for a bit.
No, stay on that soapbox. Stay on there. It looks good on you.
Yeah, for God's sake, stop. That's.
Well, I mean, it really is something I'm passionate about, and I'm Grant. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This was all my. I mean, the beginning ideas of this was Mike's. Mike had an idea what he wanted to do. He and I had talked, and with his permission, I just kind of took it and started going with it, and Mike kept on going, and
with my blessing, go.
And like I said, it became what it is. So yeah, I mean, if you're listening and you own a shop, please contact one of us. If you're listening and you go to a shop, talk to their owners, ask them to please contact one of us, and we'll get things going and try to include everybody in as possible and try to make this a world for everybody. Yes. A shared comic universe.
Yeah, damn straight. Because I've already shared a couple of my customers' wish lists with you, Scott.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm hopefully I'll be able to do the same for you, or for, like you said, Craven's Comics. When Darren and Amy get their shop up and running, that's going to be the core. And we've got a couple of other people like Fat Moose out there in Comic Land. He's on board, and let's just get these people. Let's get everybody hooked up. If
Absolutely.
One of my customers needs a comic, he's looking for an X-Men #1. I don't have it. Scott might.
Well, and quite honestly, I mean, Mike and I actually talked earlier today. He's actually sent quite a few people down my way, and everybody look every once in a while, see a phone call from New York or New Jersey, and sure enough, it's somebody said, "Hey, I called the stash. They recommended you, and have you got this, this, and this?" And it's done very, very well.
A lunatic, yes. He just gotten out of.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Just got out of the joint, Scott, and he's like, how many liquor stores do I have to rob?
All right,
you're like our secret weapon, man. It's like, hey, man, we know this guy down in Biloxi. Call him. He's got everything.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that it was very, very odd for me, coming up there, and while we were there, I came up with some friends of mine. They wanted to go into New York and visit a lot of shops and things like that, and quite honestly, the only shop I really came up to visit, y'all up there at Stash and everything else. The trip into New York was kind of a last minute, spur of the moment idea. The only thing I really found, I'm not going to name any names of any shops, but I was very, with the exception of one, I will say this: the guy who owned it, the guy from Midtown, he was stupendous. He treated us great. Actually, my representative from Diamond, Nancy Romer, shout out to you. Nancy called ahead and talked to him, told him we were coming to town. He treated us wonderfully. We were given the grand tour of the place. When everybody else was saying, "No, you can't use the bathroom. This is a COVID time. Are you stupid?" He was like, "Yeah, y'all come on in. You're good to go." I wish I could remember the person's name. He told us the whole story about everything that went down with DC and them distributing for them, and we had a nice little talk with him. But we went to quite a few other shops around the area, and I was a lot disappointed. It was very lackluster. It was very disappointing in a way. I'm used to going into a comic shop and it being a comic shop, not a
Yeah,
you know,
like a
well,
Walmart, like a
well,
Walmart.
I mean, quite honestly, like one of the places we went to, and like I said, I'm trying to avoid saying name. If you wanted a $5,000 statue, they had 10 of them. But if you wanted an issue of Batman that was 6 months old, you couldn't find it anywhere in the place. So I was very, very, very. I mean, I said maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I'm used to being here, a comic shop being a comic shop. I was just very kind of very, very disappointed with it.
You've got to understand another thing, Scott, is that they depend on the people coming in there and spending $5,000 on a statue because that's their bread and butter.
I understand.
The real estate up in New York, a lot more than down, even in Red Bank.
Right.
So,
but my only thing was one of the guys that was with us who, if he would have found some of the things he wanted, would have had no problem spending $15,000.
I got you.
If he found what he wanted, but the problem was they, like I said, it was just one of those things. I guess I can see what you're saying. But for me, I mean, how many people in the world are there going to be able to have the money to spend $5,000 on a statue? Maybe up there, maybe more than I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't depend on statuary. We depend on good old comic books.
And like I said, that's the one thing I love. A lot of shops I see, and nothing against them. But gaming's never been my thing. There's never been it's never been a passion of mine. Nothing against it. More power to everybody who loves the gaming world. But I have noticed more and more that more shops are gaming shops that do comics on the side, and the actual true comic shops are going the way of the dodo.
I've never understood that either, Scott. But I guess it come in and they make sure that there's money to be made, and them are little dudes who's paid.
If you know what you're doing. I mean, I have a good buddy of mine who we're going to take Brian over to his shop the Friday when he comes. He owns a gaming shop, but that's what he is. He's a gaming shop. And granted, yes, he does some comics on the side. He doesn't do new stuff. It's just some collections he's bought up here and there. But I am, like I said, it's just not my bag of tea. And I miss the days when a comic shop was a comic shop, a gaming shop was a gaming shop, and a GameStop or whatever was a GameStop, whatever you want to say. I mean, I just don't like a lot of the. I'm not going to say I don't like. I just don't understand, and I don't. Maybe I said I don't understand the crossover between the two. I know there's still people who, anybody who's in the geek culture, the nerdy culture, there is a crossover. And don't get me wrong, we have tried doing a lot of gaming tournaments and Magic tournaments and stuff, but I've tried it. I've gone the route.
Yeah, what happened?
We did it for about a year, and we didn't lose money, but we didn't make money. We broke even after about a year. And in my opinion, I'm like, for the money I spent towards the gaming stuff to break even, I could have spent that money towards something we could have actually made money on. And nothing, like I said, same thing, really and truly, nothing against gaming, nothing against the gaming world and like that. It's just the one thing I do know is I know nothing about it. And when I know nothing about it, I know I can't make money off of it. It can't be a profitable thing for me. I know my comic books, so that's what I stick to.
Right. You don't have any passion for the gaming, so stay away from it.
I agree wholeheartedly. And like I said, for me, it's I still miss, like I said, that's one of the reasons I love going to the stash. And there was a few other places we went up to around the area in New York and everything who were comic stores. And but the more I see around, like the last time I went to a Diamond Retailer Summit, which was quite a few years ago, I would probably say about 80 to 85% of the people I talked to were all gaming stores that did comics on the side, and a very, very small percentage of shops that were actual comic shops anymore.
Well, some people, they found that they needed the games to make ends meet. I personally, I can't do that because I don't have passion for that.
Right.
So,
and I can wholeheartedly understand that.
No passion for it, and it's going to show. If I'm not passionate about what I do, then it's going to suck. It's going to suck for everybody involved.
Oh, and I don't know if y'all can hear that, but apparently somebody outside is booming their stereo, or my walls are shaking.
Nice. All right.
Speaking of cigars,
light them if you got them.
I'm smoking them if you got them.
And actually, I showed Ming earlier, Mike, but I don't know if you saw behind us. This is our new studio.
Yes, I
did.
Very nice.
Art. I even took a page out of what I saw up at Shared Universe, and I've had it sitting around the house forever, but I brought it up here, my little black light poster.
Very nice.
So yeah, I got a little Kirby Thor black light poster back, Thor black lights poster back there. So
we've been a good influence, Scott, or a bad influence.
Well,
not really.
You've been a bad influence in just in many ways, so I can't.
True. I'll take credit for that.
Do as I say, kids, not as I do.
Let's see. Let's try to bring up some of the stuff here that we have a few comments on here. John G. Good Lord, it's a freaking thing. Great to see us bringing the comics back in comic shops. Here, TBS in the Destin, Florida area is good. Hopes to see old school comic shops coming back. Well, actually, I'll be honest with you, John. A lot of the stuff, like I said, going up and seeing places like the Stash and a few other places up there, it brought the hope back to me that I wasn't the only one, and I was a dying breed, that there are other people out there like me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you're alone, Scott.
Nope, there are plenty of us out there.
Definitely not alone.
I feel like I'm doing a 60 Minutes interview here. Trying to get the light right.
Oh, yeah. No, you need the light behind you, and then you need to disguise
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I'll just wait till the bugs start coming by, going up to the light while you're waiting around.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'll just keep moving it so it freaks everybody out.
Well, guys, like I said, I'm still so anxious and excited about the project that we have in store. But like I said, I'm just going to shut my mouth before I say anything stupid. But is there anything y'all have going on coming up? That's I know you've always got stuff going on with the Shared Universe.
Oh God, Scott, I've got this thing that we're doing, but I can't say a damn thing about it.
Man, what's what are you guys in the CIA? You can't feel anything?
I'm just glad I'm not the only asshole here.
You guys are bigger teases than the freaking OnlyFans girls that Respect the Blackout brings in here, dude.
Well, you know what? You may end up seeing. No, we're not. We're not.
Actually, I got to tell you a story about that, Ming, and you, Scott. So my son Daniel, who's 15,
yes,
and he's like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", and we grabbed the one of the sofas out of a Shared Universe to bring over to the secret stash, and they were just getting ready to podcast for Respect the Blackout.
Oh,
no. Young lady sitting there. And I'm like, hi, how you doing? And the girl's like, I'm doing great. How are you all doing? And I'm like, we're doing fantastic. And we're like moving the couch. She said, if you wait around for 10 minutes, you'll be doing even better. And I said, he's only 15 and I'm too old to know, I'm old enough to know better. And I said, you guys have a great podcast. And from what I understand, they did.
That's one thing I had to get. I'm not. Maybe one day we'll get to that down here, where we might have some OnlyFans podcasts. I don't know.
Hey, man,
they keep it semi-respectable.
I know. I've seen a lot of the videos from it, and they're actually, honestly, considering what they could do, it's actually very tame.
They're very tasteful. They're very tasteful gentlemen.
I've actually gone through and watched gone back and looked at some of their stuff, and well, I mean,
go on YouTube, public.
It happens.
Live from
I can explain this away to anybody who asks me what's on my video feed. Oh, I'm just doing some research for a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I have to figure out what sells and what doesn't sell, and Apparently, that does.
Nick Fury with the cigar sells. The Thing with the cigar sells.
You need the eye patch.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about rocking an eye patch these days.
You know what? I mean, you could probably carry it out, especially since the whole Hasselhoff Days stuff.
God.
All right, thanks.
You know what? Everybody gives that show a lot of shit, but you know what? I gotta give it. I gotta say this. Yeah, actually going back and watching it. Yes, it was horrible, but it wasn't intolerable.
No, it wasn't the worst thing that they've done. Like the live action Spider-Man TV show with Nicholas Hammond.
But actually, going back and looking up, that was still some of my more fondest memories. Like because that was my first experience. Well, actually, no, my first experience was the old '60s, Spider-Man cartoon growing up and everything else. But as far as live action, that was the best we had at the time.
Yeah. We didn't get much better. It didn't get any better than that.
That's all you had, and you liked it.
I'll tell you, for years, though, I remember seeing it when I was young. And people for the longest time told me I was crazy. I must have dreamt or whatever. But there was a couple of DC live action things. And I remember watching them when I was young and seeing them on TV and never be able to find them again.
Oh, Legends of the Superheroes?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my God. And the roast.
Yes, they were god-awful.
They were horrible. But you know what? At the time, being a kid growing up, watching it, I was completely dumbfounded and astonished and just thought it was the best thing ever that these heroes that I had been reading and seeing and loving, they were live on screen, and looking back now, it was god fucking awful.
Even back then, I knew it was god. Oh, come on, Scott. Charlie Callis as Sinestro.
It was. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was. What's his name for? Savannah.
That was Ernest T. Bass.
Ernest T. Bass. Yes.
Whatever the hell that guy's name. Oh my God, he was awful.
It was so bad, but it was what we had at the time, and it for me. Like I said, I have to agree with you. Now, looking back, it was probably some of the most embarrassing times that me ever wanted to call myself a comic book fan.
Of course. Well, do you remember the Captain America TV show?
Yes, because actually the guy who played Captain America was from here in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's Reb Brown. It was
Reb Brown, yeah.
Yeah, Reb Brown. Oh my God! And that clear plexiglass shield, and the Captain America suit was made out of nylon.
But that's all we had. That was the best we had at the time. We didn't have the Marvel MCU at the time.
No, we didn't. And talk about like crawling from the ooze.
Old Reb's back in action now, man. He's getting his phone's ringing. I feel I've good for him, man.
Oh, he's back out in the con circuit and everything else, and
he looks happy, man. I love it.
Well, I mean, there is no con circuit, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he was on one of the best MST3K that they.
Yes, I agree.
Space Mutiny, where they took all the stock footage from Battlestar Galactica and just made it into a movie.
What was it?
About that. That's stock footage from Battlestar Galactica, which itself is like an oxymoron. Stock footage, Battlestar Galactica.
How do you have stock footage from Battlestar Galactica?
I don't know. It's like Ed Wood's wet dream.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. I'm just going to slide to the side for 1 second.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. Important call, everybody. Important
How
call.
you been? Hey, did you hear about Scott's secret project? Don't tell anyone.
I have because you guys won't shut up about it.
All right. I'm back. Sorry.
All about it. We won't shut up about.
Yeah, and Mike, it's not true. My phone's been ringing as well. The cons are coming back, my friends. My first one's in 3 weeks.
Where are you going, man?
Going back. I'm going to beautiful Hannibal, Missouri, my friends. Birthplace of Mark Twain, for the Big River Convention in Hannibal, Missouri.
Well, then, not long after that, you're going to be in my neck of the woods.
In Pentacon, yeah, about a month after that. So the calendar's starting to fill up, man. It's great. It's great. I'm about to get my second shot. I'll be fully vaccinated by then. Yeah, I think it feels like things are getting back to normal a little bit. So
Well, I got my one, the one shot, the Johnson and Johnson. So apparently I'm not as protected as everybody else, but I feel pretty good.
All right. I'm getting mine on Thursday, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it took so long.
I don't know. I had a shop to open. I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah, nobody like anything important to do.
Yeah, nothing.
Which I've got to give you credit to. Knowing what you kind of go through, or what you've been going through. Not a lot of people understand, and I'm going to give you a lot of credit on this as far as this goes, because I know Ming gives you a hard time. A lot of other people do too, but I've got to give you credit on this. I coming from the standpoint where you're the one responsible for everything that goes on, you're the one responsible for everything that happens. At the end of the day, if it succeeds or fails, it's all on you. I got to give you credit, man. You've done a good job.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, the shop looks good. Went in, everybody that was there were phenomenal. Everybody was there, was ready, was helping out, ready to go. I felt like the store had been open for 20 years with you in charge. So I got to give it to you. Great job, great store, all the way around, A+.
Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from an old warhorse like you.
Hey, Scott, can you leave that as a Yelp review to offset the 1-star ones?
Yeah.
Oh, people giving you 1 star? Oh, yeah, we're working the fuck those people up.
Every so often, Mike will get a 1-star review, and they're pretty funny.
Honestly, I mean, I go back and I used to get very, very anal and upset over reading the reviews and everything else. And there comes a time when you realize you will never ever please everybody, and there's always going to be somebody that comes in with an axe to grind. It's not even your fault. It has nothing to do with you. They're having a bad day. You just happen to be the brunt of it. So now I just kind of have fun with it, and just if they want to put some type of crazy thing, like we had one guy. I'll give you a perfect example. Came in, and honestly, I think he came to the wrong store. Or he reviewed the wrong store, because he came in and said the selection was very bad, that there was nothing for kids, and that he felt like if you were not a regular, you were not welcome, and everything was very dry.
We get stuff like that all the time from people.
Well, my reply was, well, shit, if you would have come next week, we were putting the slip and slide in.
Yeah, in the bouncy house.
I mean, it's to the point where I used to get very offended, and to start off with, I would try to, what can we do to make your experience better? What can we do? Things, and you know what? And there are times where I will, if it's a sincere issue that's going on, they contact us to let us know. And that's the way I feel about it. If you want to contact me directly, if you want to message me and say, hey, I came to the shop and had this happened. It was not a great experience. Just want to let you know to better your business. That's one thing. But when you get some random asshole who wants to just leave a review with no repercussions whatsoever, no answers back, no anything, I don't give it the time of day. You know what? I could have a freaking 0.3 on Yelp, and I actually wouldn't give a shit.
I wish I could feel that way. I do feel that way. You know what? I'm there for the customers that come in that are looking for. I'm not there for the guy who's like, you know what? It really, my experience was horrible because Kevin Smith didn't ring me up. It's like, sorry, there's
nothing you knew about that. Yeah,
that wasn't me, buddy.
I mean, that's the big. I mean, you. I mean, quite honestly, you are. I mean, not very much, arguably, probably one of the most famous comic shops in the world. And, people, they come in and, it's like, quite honestly, I said, I've known you two for a while. Yes, one day I would love to be Kevin, but you know what? I'm not coming up there doing it during a signing because I know y'all are going to be freaking busy as hell. I'm not going to worry about it. He's going to be busy as hell. If I ever meet him, it's going to be a spur of the moment thing. And great, hey, fine, nice to meet you. You know, great. You inspired me a lot. You helped me a lot with going along. I loved all your stuff. Thank you for all the years of entertainment. But I'm not going to. I'm not gonna show up during one of the signings where everybody there is busy. Because quite honestly, if I'm coming to New Jersey, I'm coming to see you two, and everybody can hate me if they want. I'm coming to see you two more than I am to see Kevin Smith.
So you're not going to drool all over him.
I'm not going to say that. I probably would, but no. I'm just saying. You know, my priorities is as much as I would love to meet him and say hi. You know, thank you for everything. It's not my priority coming up there. My priority would be coming up there to see you two and come to a shared universe and enjoy myself.
I mean, you can slobber over Mike. He'll pass on the message for you.
We need to stop this whole slobbering over somebody talk. This is not sounding good whatsoever.
And you and slobbering and diarrhea. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, it's I like body functions, I guess.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Kevin's stuff. I love everything he's done. And like I said, it would be an honor to meet him. I don't ever want to do it on a weekend or a time when you two are going to be, Mike especially, is going to be pulling out the hair where he's going to look like me afterwards.
Doesn't happen like that. We got it down to science, Scott, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, guys, thank y'all for coming on. No, we actually went a little bit longer than I was expecting.
Yeah, no, but dude, anytime, man. Except, wait, how did your Godzilla versus Kong screening go?
Quite honestly, it went great. I actually went and did a few. Well, I mean, it was only just for a couple of friends. We had about 12 people here. One of our guys, Jason London, but we ended up doing it. I bought two. My screen ended up messing up, so I ended up buying 2 queen bed sheets. Hanging those up.
Nice.
And with the projector, we were going to do it outside. I've got a blow up screen, but it got down to like 41 degrees. I'm like, no, that ain't happening. So we did it inside, and it was phenomenal. We had the sound system set up, the PA speakers. So we were blowing the neighbors. You know, everybody could hear it probably about a mile away, but it was so much fun. To the point where we used to do it a lot. We're going to actually start doing it again, where we're going to do a Dazed and Confused night where I actually went online and found out the rights to show Dazed and Confused is a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
And we're going to do that in the parking lot. We're going to do a little Q&A with Jason. Actually, I've got to get Jay in touch with Mike pretty soon, because I know we were going to try to work something out. He's supposed to be filming up there, so I don't want to get too far ahead of that. But yeah, so hopefully we can get some other things going on. But yeah, the movie night was great, to the point where we decided we're going to try to do it about once a month.
Very cool.
Yeah, shoot, I wish we could do that. I don't know if we have a space enough to. Well, maybe when the Smodcast opens up.
Yeah, we'll see.
So it was a blast. Like I said, it was a big thing. Just told everybody to bring their own chairs, bring whatever you want to eat or drink. Actually, some people brought some great food. There was more than anybody could ever eat. And I don't know if you ever had a thing. They're called Scotch Eggs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Egg encased in ground beef and deep fried.
And sausage, yeah, ground sausage.
Yeah.
And it's just like heaven on earth. And I ate like 4 of those, and I was happy as hell. All right, well, guys, thank y'all again for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see everybody next time. And once again, go to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, or come to 3 Alarm Comics. Visit us online or in person. If you would like to do your own podcast, go to a shared universe. You can get on there. You can book Ming. You can book Mike. You can book me. I don't even care. And go on there. You can do your own thing just like we're doing. So everybody, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Take care, folks.
Yeah.